off, I'm going to start with Dajane because she's in my top left corner and have her introduce herself.
Of course. So my name is Dajane Harbs. I'm an associate recruiter at DreamWorks Animation. I primarily support a lot of the creative technical roles, as well as production technology. And I primarily work in feature, but I am supporting TV right now as well. I've been at DreamWorks for about 2 years now in May. I know, Lisa, it just seems like yesterday I was at PlayStation.
It does.
And yeah, before that, I used to work at PlayStation with Lisa, who will introduce herself later.
Nice, thanks, Josh. Christina?
Hey, so I'm currently a US marketing program manager at Intel. Super long title, but basically it just means I manage projects for marketing specifically for Intel's client products. So that'll be like CPUs for gaming, other things. And then previously as an intern, so I interned with the same team for the past 2 years, and during my internship I helped run gaming projects. So like the Intel Gamer Days campaign that takes place every year, if you've heard of that. And yeah.
Hi.
And I'll go next. My name is Anitra Hill. I work at Microsoft in HR. So my role is HRBP. Basically, that entails a lot of work around talent management, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and executive coaching. I've been with the company for 4 years, and I got into HR from going to school for HR and completing a few internships.
Hi, my name's Lisa. I am a recruiting manager at PlayStation. I've been at PlayStation since 2013. And then before that, I have been really lucky and blessed to be in entertainment. Before that, I worked for Lucasfilm, and then before that, I worked at Electronic Arts. So I've been in gaming and some type of entertainment fashion my entire career. I started when I was at PlayStation. I started recruiting interns. Eventually, started recruiting specifically on the corporate side, so for marketing and sales, finance, HR, and then eventually started to manage the corporate recruiting team. So that's what I do, and it's going to be because you really have a lot of great women in entertainment and in marketing and in technology. So honestly, you guys, you really have they're at your disposal. What kind of questions do we have? Can we answer for you?
So I think the first one is probably how do the ones in HR get into HR? I see that question.
Yeah, I can start that. I was in it by complete and total accident. I did not go to college. I did get a psychology degree. I did not go to college thinking this is what I was going to do. I fell into recruiting by accident. After I graduated, I signed up for a temp agency to get temp work to kind of do whatever kind of job they were going to send me at, and I didn't like the way that I was treated, and I eventually ended up meeting with the owner of the agency that I was trying to sign up with, and I was telling her what was wrong with my experience, and she took that as it was like pre-Yelp, I guess, and she ended up hiring me, and I started answering phones for them, treating people better, and I kind of eventually started answering the phones, and then I started just kind of moving my way up, so I started my career on the agency side. Anybody else want to talk about how they fell into HR?
I always forget that like recruiting is part of HR. Like I know, we work with HR, but I think we just, consider ourselves like in a different like area. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't have to get like professional of HR, certifications, or like we don't deal with. I guess the best way to put it is like we bring the people in, and then after that,
it's Anitra's
job. Yeah.
Anitra does her thing. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can go next. My path was a little different. I started out wanting to be an artist, and then I realized that that is not always stable, and I wanted to still be in the industry, but do something that I was passionate about. So then I went over to higher education, worked at the Art Institute for a little bit. Then I transitioned over to PlayStation, working with Lisa, and that was amazing. And I knew that I wanted to be a recruiter. So yeah, I just kind of went full circle, you know.
And I guess I'll go next. I'm from Michigan, so I worked for one of the big three auto companies right out of high school in an hourly role. And I had two managers, and one was a male, one was a female. And the male was a little bit abrupt, and like his leadership style needed a little work. And so I went to HR and I said, like, hey, I'm like this 18-year-old and this guy is like super mean and, can you help me? And they were like, he's old school, like we're not going to do anything about it. And so after that, I like went to college to be HR and like be different when people have an issue. So that's kind of how I got into HR from a bad experience. I was basically like, I'm not going to treat people like that if I
we have similar stories.
Yeah, if I get into HR. And so, yeah, I went to college for HR. I have a master's degree in org management and a bachelor's in HR development. And started out, I don't know if you guys remember what Kelly Service girls are, or not girls because it's unisex, but Kelly Services. So I started out as a temp. So I did some temp work after my internships to build some experience. And then I was able to get into Fortune companies and navigate through Amazon, PwC Consulting, Walmart. And yeah, so now I'm at Microsoft. But yeah, that's how I got in HR. I did my internships and I did some vendor work, basically consulting to just get some experience to go with my education. And then, from there, I was able to like land my first like salaried role.
Christina, I know you're not in HR, but what was your path to your marketing role?
Oh, yeah, a couple other people joined, so hopefully it'll be relevant to them. I actually just graduated from San Diego State University in December, so super fresh for me. I originally went to school for computer science because I loved gaming and I was like, I want to code games. But I quickly realized that just wasn't for me. And like Dajane, I was super into art, like creating just like artwork and more kind of less like structured things. I don't know if that makes sense. So I switched my major to marketing. And then from there, every summer I tried to intern and like build up my experience. It started out really small. I took like an on-campus marketing job making like posters basically for the school. And then I got to work at an agency in San Diego where I learned how to like run email marketing campaigns and kind of learn in like an unstructured environment since it was a smaller company. And then that helped me get the experience needed, and I eventually was able to intern with the gaming marketing team at Intel for the US. So that's where I really learned about like large scale marketing campaigns and more, I guess it was my entrance into like the corporate world. And so I interned with them for 2 summers, and they actually were so great and gave me a return offer. I guess in December. So I just started a month ago in my full-time position where I am now still doing marketing, program management. So basically whatever campaigns we have, I'll kind of organize all the stakeholders with like the people who own the product and then external agencies and stuff. So I guess it's more than just marketing. It's also like program management, project management kind of stuff. But yeah.
Do you interact with a lot of other stakeholders, or do you typically just interact with the marketing?
Oh, I couldn't really hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Do you interact with other divisions of Intel, or do you just kind of work within marketing?
Oh yeah, so now I'm working on graphics and that requires a lot of like working with other business units within Intel. We have a couple different groups like client computing group, which is more consumer stuff, and then like our data center group, and a bunch of other smaller groups. So I do a lot of work between like sales, marketing, external agencies, and also like our partners, since Intel sells components. Basically, we have to work with like the system manufacturers like HP, Dell, and then also like software partners and then retail partners. A whole ecosystem of other people.
You can definitely connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 questions. Okay.
Any specific advice for related to degrees, business degrees wanting to go into HR marketing? So I don't know when you joined, but my degree is in psychology, Isabella, and Christina, what is your degree in marketing?
Oh, my degree is actually in marketing and Asian studies. So I think business kind of takes in people from all educational backgrounds.
And Jackie, you have your art degree, correct?
Yeah, my bachelor's degree is in animation. And then my master's is in higher education administration.
Oh.
Lisa, I think you have some feedback on your mic.
Yeah, I hear some buzzing.
It's like, is that a plane?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe try muting. Oh yeah, it went away.
Yeah.
It's your headset, I think.
Yeah.
So the question is okay, so how do you get in with, okay, so I think we answer that one about getting into different industries without having a specific degree in that area?
For me, my kind of like entry point into like more I guess like bigger roles in marketing was taking on a contract position. It's like not super glamorous and like you might not get the benefits, but it really helps you break into a new industry.
And that was the same thing I did to get in HR. Even with the degree, I had to do some, contract work for.
Same.
I ended up doing it for Verizon Wireless and Siemens. Siemens, the big company in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to kind of take that with the education and, get through the interviews to like land a full-time salary position with a big company from there.
Yeah, same. And then I think also like volunteering yourself for like side projects. For my contract role at Cisco, I was doing social media marketing, which I didn't love. But this girl who sat near me, her name was also Christina. That was like our little moment of bonding. I found out she was working on gaming projects. So I was like, hey, I'm a gamer. Like, if you have questions, just ask me. And then I was able to help her, even though that wasn't like my job scope. I helped her like not on my untracked time, I guess. And I got to put that on my resume. So that got my foot in the door for other like gaming roles.
Yeah, another option that now that you said that is a lot of volunteer work. So there's sometimes like, there's different opportunities to be on boards and kind of leverage your HR skills or what you know about HR. And you would be amazed. I mean, I remember when I worked in retail with like the managers at Walmart and also at Amazon with the managers, there's a huge bit of HR work that happens when you're a people manager. Like they're the ones who actually like have the conversations and I kind of enable and coach them. But there's a lot of work. If you find a management job, you can pick up a lot of HR skills from being a manager.
And so, you know, there's a lot to be said about the kinds of jobs you have while in college, right? The things that you're learning when you're doing staff Starbucks about customer service and, you know, being nice to people. It's a question that I get asked a lot when you're just starting out and you're putting your resume together, and you know, people are always afraid of, you know, putting Target or retail jobs on your resume. When you work a retail job, that means that an establishment trusts you with showing up on time, cash, like so you're trusted with money. You know, those are the types of things that you don't necessarily see. That is the relevance that I see when I look at resumes from like entry level or internship type jobs, right? Like, and then the number one thing is also having a part-time job while completing and finishing college. Like, those are really, that's not an easy thing to do. So, you know, don't be worried about the types of things you put up. Those things, recruiters notice those things on resumes, and those are the things that stand out.
Yeah, I think if you have like passion and grit, you can get into, you know, if you really have tenacity, you can pretty much maneuver your way into things. I mean, even Christina, how you talked about how you did the side work, like, because you were passionate about it and it wasn't part of your job, but you were like, hey, I want to help out with that. For example, in the HR field, I haven't done mergers and acquisitions as an HR professional. So I'm asking like, hey, can I shadow? Can I help out? Can you guys give me some work? Just to like learn that within my own company. And, you know, I think volunteering and taking on extra work and projects is a good way to learn and build skills in a different way than kind of just like getting the job and just actually having it.
Yeah, never stop.
Sometimes you have to be creative.
You never stop learning. I did see a question about what are the differences as far as working in like HR and marketing in tech and gaming versus other industries. I don't know. I think for me, the first thing that comes to mind is like culture. You know, I think that it's more fun. I don't know any other way to describe it.
But I just always assumed that working at PlayStation is more fun than working at a bank. Like, I'm like, that's my own bias. I'm sorry if there's people who work at a bank here.
Know your truth. You know, I'm not saying that those like that experience isn't valuable, but I think when you come into like entertainment and games, it's the culture is much more like close knit. You know, it's like playful and like, you know, like it kind of makes you feel like a kid again. I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. And it's not just, oh, I have to be an artist or I have to be a designer. I think they encompass that culture in all aspects of the company. You know, at least the places that I've worked.
Yeah.
I think for marketing, at least like at Intel, it's kind of cool because there's a lot more groups that don't work with gaming than groups who do work for gaming. And I can already tell, like, I'm excited to think about marketing campaigns for gaming, like targeted towards gamers. It's always like something fun. But when I think about like, oh, how would I do like in the data center group, like how would I market towards these like businesses that are looking to buy like data center equipment? And I'm just like, I don't even know. Like, I do agree that I think it is a lot more fun when you're working with a gaming audience, especially if you're like really passionate about gaming. You can kind of take that and run with it as opposed to something else that might not be as relatable.
I'm really lucky because I actually support both the studio environment as well as the marketing team, and even within PlayStation, the culture on the studio side of the marketing team is really different, especially depending on what side of the marketing team. So on the social media traditional, even the social media side, the more digital marketing team is way different than, say, the hardware marketing team. And the hardware marketing team, they have a different approach than the game side, the actual marketers that are doing the games, which is the platform stuff. So yeah, even the cultures feel a little different, even in one company. So I think that's my favorite part. That it's different, even though it's the same.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Even like thinking about Microsoft, I'm considered G&A. So G&A is business development, legal, HR, and finance. And so I work with everyone on the G&A side. I don't really work with the Xbox side, but the studios, like even just like when I go into a building for a meeting and it's the studios or gaming side, just the whole vibe is totally different and the energy there is different than the people on my side. They're all just kind of boring. Yeah. I mean, even the office is cooler. I mean, it's a difference. Yeah. I think a lot of it is that innovation.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Creative talent altogether.
I think someone asked about how to get their foot in the door, whether it's like connecting on LinkedIn or, you know, other avenues.
I would definitely say connecting on LinkedIn, finding you know, mentors or people within the industry. I personally got into the games industry because I had a friend who had a job at EA and she was working in like that. It's like it's so cliche to say it's who you know, but it's really helpful. Like I would never not say that knowing someone on the inside is helpful. And then I think there's something to be said about please and thank you. I think sort of politeness and you know and the niceties of it all, which is very important still in this day and age of digital and texting and emails and things like that.
All right. Any other questions? Fire away. If not, I can ask.
Ooh, what's the most difficult part about our individual jobs? For me, the most difficult part, I guess is the part that I least expected is like having to work so much with like legal and compliance on certain things. Like if you want to run a giveaway, you have to like know what exactly you're giving away, all of the terms and stuff like a month in advance for some states in order to get the terms and conditions like blessed by legal and like submitted through all the appropriate channels, and then all of the yeah, like whenever you need to collect information for any reason, you have to go through like all the GDPR stuff, make sure everything's like just perfect for legal, I guess. And that always adds like weeks, or I guess like a week or two onto your timeline, which isn't something that I expected. Yeah.
And can you tell them about GDPR, the privacy?
Oh. Yeah, so GDPR is something that started in Europe and now other places are kind of like following along, like California has some, it's like I don't know what it actually stands for, but it's like data protection laws basically to make sure that companies aren't collecting more data than they need to or holding onto it for longer than they need to. And California is following suit too. So now basically, even if a campaign isn't happening in Europe, we always try to like follow the strictest guidelines just to make sure we're like complying.
Same at Microsoft. We follow the standards across
Yeah.
the company. Yeah.
GDPR was until I'm in the middle of trying to fill an open position for a privacy council. And
Oh.
I'm like, I've like now, I've literally heard this GDPR like 17 different ways in the last 3 weeks. And I never even knew it existed. And now I feel like it's following me in like all
Everywhere.
aspects of my life right now. But just to jump on to me, the most difficult part of my job is people. It sounds so cliche, but recruiting is such a people-driven thing, and people in of itself is people are unpredictable by nature. Like I think it's 99% of the time my job is easy, but I would say I should say there's easy parts of my job, and then the hard part of my job is actually, honestly, and I know this may sound cheesy, but it's telling someone they didn't get a job. Like that's still not my favorite thing to do, even after all these years.
Yeah, I guess I can piggyback off of that and say, I think the hard part for me is telling people that they didn't get the job. Like keep in touch. Really enjoyed meeting you. However, it's not going to work out this time. And I try to make that a positive experience, but sometimes, it really just so disappointing for the person. So
Never get easy, no matter how long you do it. It just won't be easy. And hopefully most of y'all can attest. I think it's recruiting is 99% luck and 1% timing, right? So it's also when you're ready and it's more timing than anything else. I feel a lot of the time. Don't ever take that personal, especially you guys are all starting. You're just just I would never take it personal that you didn't get the first job that you applied for. I didn't.
I agree. Oh my gosh. So my internship at Intel with the gaming team, I actually had applied to that job posting like 2 or 3 years before. Like I had started applying it ever since I started at SDSU because I really wanted it, and every year I would see it again. But I was so glad that I didn't get to do it until I did, because I definitely was not prepared for the amount of work and like marketing knowledge required, and getting it when I did just really helped me set that, I guess, like rapport with my team, and that's what really helped like bring me back full time. So I think like if I had gotten it any of the first 2 or 3 times that I had applied, like it probably would not have been a good experience for either party. So I guess just like don't give up. The right opportunity will come when it's your time.
I'd probably say the most difficult part about the work that I do as an HRBP is when someone doesn't have a good employee experience. And I try to make it better for the next person, but I just feel like, it didn't work out for this person. So, I feel bad about that, even though I may not directly be involved in any sort of way with that person at work. I feel a sense of ownership as an HRBP in their experience and working with the leaders that I support. So if it's someone working with a leader that I support, I really try to make it better. But I feel, it's a little bit difficult when it doesn't work for someone and they don't have the experience they expected when they join the company. And most rewarding is talent management, getting to promote people and see people grow into leadership roles and take on new assignments and work after you've worked with them. It's very rewarding to see people meet their potential.
I'm going to second that because I was, Jasmine left us because she just wasn't able to go, and I love seeing her just killing it. I miss her, but I love watching her. I know knowing that she's doing something awesome over there at the it's equally rewarding as if she was doing it with us. I get that feeling. Totally.
I think for me, it's, when they get the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opposite, right?
I will never ever, no matter how many days I do this job, get tired of someone saying thank you. You gave me my dream job. Like that is the best feeling. That's the most rewarding thing I can get from this job is hearing someone say thank you for getting me, for making that. It all starts with a phone call, right? The recruiter calls you, and that's where it starts.
I think one of the most rewarding things is like when a campaign goes live and you see it out in the real world and you can be like, hey, I did that. Yeah, and then recently we gave someone, we did our first like TikTok campaign kind of, and then seeing that kind of like go viral, that was so rewarding. I sent it to like all my friends. I was like, we did that.
That's awesome. For the next one, I think I'm involved in the game development. I guess if I was HR on the gaming side, my involvement would be just with building the leaders and coaching the leaders and hiring, bringing on onboarding talent after the recruiters make the offers. But I don't have any direct involvement with games, and I call IT when I need it with Excel, so I'm the wrong person to get with the games. I'm definitely on the people side.
My direct involvement is literally hiring the people to make the games. Right? So I actually I'm looking for an art director right now for our game studio, for example, and that is my direct involvement in game development.
I think there's been some opportunities, just my experience in games and also at DreamWorks, where they ask you to like, do a little voiceover, scratch acting, right? Or like try out this new like VR game that they're working on. Like they kind of use you as well as like other like groups, that they hire for these things to give them critical feedback. But sometimes like the best feedback is from those that you work with. So I would say like that's my involvement. I would like to think that I played a small part in giving my opinion. Oh, she said, can we just see what's going on? I mean, I could. Most of it's confidential, but yeah, I mean, they would do like sneak peeks or like, quarterly reviews and, but I think for our roles, we have to be like proactive, with those things. And not just gonna be like, HR, come on and see what we're doing. Like,
Right.
So,
Over there whenever I can, but
yeah.
But it's usually frowned. It's not frowned upon, but I mean, typically, I depending on like so the way when Dodge was she actually sat in the studio, so it's really easy for her to just kind of walk around and see what's going on. Where I work is in corporate headquarters, so there isn't actually a lot of quote unquote games development happening there, so I don't necessarily get to see it. But we do have a small incubation team, and every now and then I'll just go sneak by. But it's the way PlayStation is kind of set up. The game studios are separate.
I think in my role, if I was working with a gaming leader at Microsoft, like on the Xbox side, I definitely think I would have lots of visibility because in this role, I'm responsible for helping, like, let's say it's the vice president of gaming. I'm responsible for helping him land that strategy or her or, whoever is in that role. At Microsoft, it's Phil Spencer. So, yes, so I would say you would get a lot of visibility. I mean, you'd be working with a talent, you'd be helping with determining their rewards and bonus and their potential and their next development opportunities. So you're kind of on the front line with this group if you're working on that side in an HR capacity. So I think you would get a lot of exposure as an HRBP.
your other question, do we have a fun room for relaxing at the office? At Intel, there's like a whole bunch of different offices. I at the one that I interned at in Oregon, a couple summers ago, we didn't really have like a fun room. There was a secret ping pong room that like no one really knew about, that my other interns and I found. There's a couple like random rooms where if like you know about it, you can go there and like have fun. Like there's a room with a bunch of gaming PCs set up that like anyone can play at, but they're not like designated fun rooms with like beanbags and consoles. There's like a couple rooms with like massage chairs, and there's like one phone booth room where there's like a desk and then like a treadmill kind of thing at the bottom, so you can like walk around while taking a call. But that's the extent of fun that we kind of have. Our our buildings aren't very like kind of millennial friendly. I guess like some of the newer companies have a whole bunch of like cool stuff, but we don't really have all that.
I haven't been to the office in over a year, but I mean, I think there's designated sort of chill areas. Um, we have like a really big like, lobby area. They have a lot of different things to just chill out. So,
So I think like for me at Microsoft, yes, there's a ton of fun rooms. I mean, like every building is different. There's like I went to our Ireland office, there's like a yoga room. I went to our Singapore office, there's a robot roaming around the office. Here in Seattle, there's beanbag rooms. We have our own tree house where we can go into a tree house and have meetings with Wi-Fi. I mean, I work with our real estate and facilities CVP, so we put a lot of work into making the workplace fun. And we just built a Taj Mahal themed office in India. And it literally looks like the Taj Mahal, but it's the office for people at work. Nobody's been in it yet because of the pandemic. But yes, the offices are very fun. There's games everywhere and everything except for free food.
At DreamWorks, oh gosh, the whole campus is amazing. I mean, it's just like when I was at PlayStation, it's like we had a designated game room and all of the games that we've ever made were there, along with the consoles. And, you know, there was, I think, a foosball. So foosball table. And there were like a couple like old arcade games, you know, and of course like free snacks and food. But DreamWorks, oh my gosh, like it's insane. Like we have a koi pond that then turns into a stream that like goes throughout the entire like campus. It's just like crazy. On top of that, like they give us free lunch and breakfast, and you know, we have like movie screenings on campus every week because we've also, you know, been acquired by NBC Universal. So like all those movies, they get to share them with us, and oh gosh, it's just so much. And of course, like that doesn't even count like the launch days for when like movies come out, and you know, we want to like get Trolls plushie dolls, and like, I mean, it's just crazy. It's like an art college campus, but like, you know, times 10. So really great stuff. That's one of the things that I miss in this pandemic. One of the things I miss about the before time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, in the before time, we used to have a bunch of these like great place to work events. Like there's networking events, and then I know for a while, I don't know if they're still going to do this when everything opens back up, but they would like rent out movie theaters for like all Intel employees to like bring their families and like see certain movies. And then I totally forgot, but in the Santa Clara office, they have this like giant chess set. It's kind of fun. They're literally like this tall. And you can like move them around and stuff.
That's cool.
I've seen those at malls lately. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw one at a mall kind of near my house too.
go back. I mean, like whenever there was a game launch, we would do. I mean, I'm just thinking the last time we did like when there was MLB was one of the last launches we did in like real life, and we had like dining pages and strike zones and things like that. But that's it's going to be so bizarre that with what we can actually do whenever we go back to the office now. I already heard that they took out all the chairs in the conference rooms to make people not stay in the conference room too long, so people can just kind of stand, collaborate, and then like go back to their socially distancing areas. But yeah, it's gonna definitely be a whole new world when we go back to the office.
I had some experience in a few other companies that I haven't actually worked with. When I worked at PwC, my team had all of the media clients in Los Angeles, and I would have an opportunity to go visit them called the HR site visit. And so like I've been in the Riot Games office and I've been in Sony before, I've been in Disney's corporate office just from my team at PwC. And so I saw like gaming offices that I haven't worked at, and they were amazing.
So jealous.
Oh, it's so fun working. Like HR can be fun, you know. And another fun thing we used to do at PwC, we used to rent out Universal Studios where they had like and like all PwC employees, like they would like rent out different things, and they'd have like open bar, and it's just, they rent boats and yachts and everything. It's so yeah, work can be fun. It's not just all work.
Yeah, I think those actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Blizzard has a really cool office.
I've been in that one.
Yeah, they have like these giant like statues or like sculptures of like all of their like really popular game characters, and all of the different like sections are themed. It's super cool, and like if you're a nerd like me, it was super awesome. And on LinkedIn, like whenever their employees have like an anniversary, they give them like super cool stuff. Like people get like swords and other things.
That's cool.
I want a sword.
Right?
I know. Yeah, I've been in Blizzard too.
I think
Yeah.
you get like a sword at like your 5th anniversary or something like that. Like
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the gaming industry is so fun.
All right.
Even though I don't technically, like, I don't directly work in it, I do agree with you guys.
Yeah, I think it is like a general tech/gaming thing. I think like a lot of these places were like startups initially, and I think they want to keep the culture fun and light, and
yeah,
you know, a lot of the work that they're doing, I mean, it's pretty like intense.
Yeah.
You know, they need some time to decompress and not use their brains. So
yeah.
I mean, you just give me food and I'm great. So I don't.
I'm a sucker for like free.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take a lot to teach me. My one of my really best friends, she is a facilities manager at YouTube, and they opened a new building. She showed me like she's like, which slide do you like? It was like they put a slide in the middle of the thing. So I definitely, it's not just a gaming thing. I think it's definitely.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely a tech thing. I think also because the work is so like intense, the dress codes are all super relaxed. Like I'll see people show up in like yoga pants, sweatpants, and that was even before the pandemic, and I'm sure it'll be even worse now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do love the dress code in tech and gaming. Yeah, like we wear like shorts, flip-flops, t-shirts, hoodies to work. Even like our CFO comes to work in jeans and a hoodie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you're dressed up, then people look at you weird, like, what do you have going on today?
Yeah, are you going on an interview?
Yeah.
Why are you so polished today? Because I think they want you to be comfortable and be yourself at work. So they kind of got rid of some of those rules that you traditionally see in some of the other industries. Because I remember like PwC hadn't come as far with the whole comfy thing. They were like just like letting you wear jeans, clean jeans with a blazer.
Oh my gosh.
But our team would go out to the clients like the Blizzard and the Riot, and they're like totally laid back, surfer looking, you know. And yeah, they were a little behind the times.
Did you just say a hummus bar?
Huh?
Did you say a hummus bar? Is that what you just said?
No.
Oh. Okay, you said they had a.
Yes, too. What did you say?
What did PwC have? You said they had some kind of bar, some kind of. They have food?
No, PwC didn't have food, but they were just getting into like wearing jeans, is what I was saying. I don't know what I said about a bar, but no. I mean, we used to have open bars when we worked there. We used to, as HR, they'd say, "Hey, HR, like, go give them your American Express." I know. Our employees have been working hard. Let them have whatever they want. But yeah.
The before time.
I know, yeah. Now we're socially distanced.
I don't know. I'm just stuck on a hummus bar now. Like I'm kind of curious like what that looks like.
We're like on the same food wavelength because I literally heard hummus bar too.
Yeah, I was like, that's healthy. Like hummus and then just like several toppings. Like
that sounds amazing.
I know. I think there's about, if you look at time, less than 5 minutes left. If there's anything left, Haifa and Isabella, you guys had a nice private little session. So hopefully we were helpful. Hopefully we again connect with us on LinkedIn. Remind us that we chatted today. And I obviously was nice to meet you too, Anita and Christina. I'll connect with you guys too on LinkedIn as well.
Ladies, thank you so much. And not that it's over yet, but I wanted to come in and tell you thank you. As a marketing professional, I so appreciate your time, your input, and from all of you. Each one of you have been partners today. PlayStation and Intel, you all are overall partners for all of BCGA, but I appreciate you all, each and every part you play, both from your companies as well as your time on a Saturday. I know it's late for some of you, depending on where you are in the world. And it's a Saturday, but I appreciate you being a part of history with us today with Women Got Game, and for all the intel and everything you've shared. And we've recorded this session, so we'll be sharing it on our YouTube page. We'll also be sharing it through our Discord group and through our 15 member schools. So we so appreciate you, because some of the young ladies who weren't able to participate today, we'll be able to share them that are interested in marketing, sales, and HR, who may not ever get a chance to have your amazing companies come to their campuses. I hope one day we'll be able to get all of you to come interview and recruit at our 14 HBCUs and our one PBI institution. And so we'll work to hopefully create that relationship. And I so appreciate each and one of you. And please enjoy the remainder of this session. I thank you.